If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. It's raining, or was raining. I know it's probably not raining when you see this video. It was raining at the RTR. They advised everybody at the RTR to stay put, don't go to town unless it's an absolute emergency. Of course, there were people trying to get out. Look, it's probably a big sloppy mess. I was in the grasslands, Buffalo Gap in South Dakota, in the springtime, and it rained.
It's amazing.
So I understand what they're talking about. It becomes just a soupy, sloppy mud fest.
And you're stuck in your camper.
And you're not going to get out.
Nothing to do.
I watched truck after truck after truck.
Water, rainwater,
get stuck.
And your feet are wet.
Tow truck
for
come out
3
and get
days
them.
straight. Your shoes
but
are
here we are,
every pair you own. You
living the nomadic lifestyle in Missouri.
And no place to hang them.
And it's one of these big snow events. It's something that you have to be ready for as a nomad. You have to be ready for weather. And you have to be willing to make good decisions for weather. And I learned this very, very, very early in our adventure. We were actually on our test run, and we were going down to Tennessee to stay for, I don't know, 4 days or so. The day we got there, we pulled in, I think, about 7 o'clock at night. And the campsite host walks up to us and says, there's a tornado in the area. I recommend that you go to the bathrooms for shelter. Happened to us again in Mississippi. We were in Mississippi and a tornado warning. Well, this time we were by ourselves, no campsite host, no bathrooms, no shelter. So we lowered the camper and we slept in the truck that night. We were totally prepared that if, you know, it started getting windy, we were just going to head off into a safer location, try to find shelter in a building that we knew was down the road. We went to the Smoky Mountains. It rained the entire summer, and it was in the 50s the entire summer. It was cold and wet the entire summer. You know, people say go up in the elevation for the summer to stay cooler, so that's what we did. We followed the advice of these YouTubers, but they don't tell you that weather is still a factor. They just tell you if you do this, it's going to be better for you. It was a miserable summer. So then we went to Florida for the winter. Now, we got to Florida a little late, long story, but we had to come to Missouri. Then we ended up getting back to Florida in December. And hunt season was on. You know, everybody had already migrated south, so the campsites were getting full pretty quick. So we found a campsite up in northern Florida. Now, the temperatures normally, you know, 60 degrees most of the summer, 50s at the low end during the daytime highs. And then on occasions, it gets cold. On occasions, down into the 20s. That is the average temperature. And I did tons of research on this. So I was pretty comfortable with the idea that Florida was going to be pretty warm for us. Something that we could handle. It was the coldest winter that the locals had seen, I don't know, in 20 years. It actually snowed in Florida. It snowed in Florida. Yep, it does snow. Who would have thought it snows in Florida? But it does. It was so cold that lizards and frogs were falling out of the trees because they, I guess, go into some sort of hibernation state when it gets so cold. And I had one fall right in front of my foot. There's a video on that. John is going to know what I'm talking about because he brings it up a lot. So I think that, you know, I try to explain this in my videos that you need to be prepared for the worst because the worst is always around. We went to North Dakota and, you know, it rained. And I didn't have any expectations with North Dakota. I really didn't. I didn't know what the weather was going to be like. I just already resigned myself to the fact that it's going to either be cold, hot, wet, windy, rainy. It doesn't matter. Weather's just going to be there. And it did. It rained, and we got stuck there for nearly 2 weeks.
It's pounding you for days
waiting for the rain. So we ended up having to collect rainwater to drink. We had plenty of food. There was a windstorm coming.
For 3 days.
Rainstorm.
Your shoes are soppy wet.
And then, there was Carolyn and I went for a walk right before the rainstorm.
And no place to hang them.
And there was this camper sitting there. Well, a bunch of campers. And they were all barbecuing and drinking and having a good time. And I said, hi. And he said hi back. You know, they said hi back. And I said, big storm coming. He said, yeah, this fifth wheel can handle it, no problem. Okay, have a good day. So Carolyn and I went back to the camper, and we took our camper, and put it down into a little valley. You know, in the grasslands, just a little hill, there was a valley. And I pointed the nose of the truck to the direction the wind was going to be coming from. And we did very fine. It barely even rocked on us. Well, next morning we got up and we saw those campers. Their canopy had gotten blown off and ripped off and was down in the valleys down there. I don't know if they ever got it out. I don't know how they got it out. I'm sure they had to call the rangers to help them get it out of there. So here's the thing that I'm trying to point out is the RTR is an event where they show people how to live this lifestyle. How to go to the bathroom in a bucket, and how to make electric with the solar panels and generators and batteries, and talking about women's safety, and that's all great. That is just wonderful. That's a good idea. If you're going to live this lifestyle, you need an education. But you also need an education on weather. Well, what they should have done was they should have said, okay guys, here's an opportunity to learn something about weather. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to rain for 2 days, and it's going to be such a sloppy, wet mess that you're not even going to hardly be able to walk in it. One guy even said in the video I watched that when he turned on his generator, the generator was vibrating enough it started to sink into the ground. That's how muddy it is. Before the rain event, they should have said, now you have a decision to make. This is how bad it's going to be. You have to decide, do you want to go out of the desert and go stay at an RV park or maybe a Walmart parking lot, wherever you can stay, because you may not have the resources to stay through this event. You may not have enough gas in your generator, you know, whatever the case is, may not have enough food, may not have enough water, or you're going to have to be ready to stay here for multiple days without moving, because you're going to get stuck unless you want to hire a tow truck. These are the things that the YouTubers need to be teaching us. Teaching you, teaching me, teaching all of us, because this is the reality right here. Raining in Arizona when there's 10,000 people is the reality. And to try to hide the idea that it's not is only going to get people hurt when they come out here to do this lifestyle themselves. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.